Hello peeps, it's Foxy Geo. Um, I'm gonna talk about that game I played. It's called The Long Way. Interesting game. The it's not a horror game, uh, so I mean I can't really talk about it being scary. It was interesting. The art style, as simplistic as it was, worked. I liked how like in that game you're a hitchhiker and you're just going to the next town. You see a sign in the beginning that says 40 miles, and that's pretty much what you do. Uh, you're a hitchhiker, so you go into people's vehicles and you talk to them. And it seems that you're not on Earth. I'm not sure if that was like a part of a twist or something, but it really was pretty obvious that you weren't on Earth at the start of the game. The guy looks like he's wearing some sort of space helmet and a backpack. So I don't know. Perhaps you are on Earth. Perhaps you're not. There was talk about like the full moon and like believers. And when you're talking to one of the dudes, he's talking about how there are spies and stuff. So I think that's kind of it's interesting. I, I the story could be that humanity finally makes it to the moon, starts new life up there, and maybe there's like maybe all sorts of people made it there, and now there's lying, deceit, and all that human stuff that always happens when we become suspicious of one another. So yeah, it's an interesting game. I like how I was accused of being a spy. I don't. The game doesn't give you much, and you only get those bits and pieces. There's some sort of conflict. Then some people believe that it's somewhat religious because I remember reading a paper that was talking about like something along the lines of like something requires like 50,000 sacrifices for something, and that just seems really bizarre and like crazy. Like you can't sacrifice 50,000 people unless you cause a war, and even then, like that would be a pretty large scale war, to get those kind of deaths. So yeah, overall, it was pretty interesting, relatively good game. I liked how you knew what you could interact with and what you couldn't because of the art style, as simplistic as it was. Couldn't figure out that dude though, the one that was wearing like a mage hood thing. I couldn't figure him out. I tried. His dialogue was interesting. Because the first time I interacted with him, I was just like, you know what? Because pretty much the first time I interacted with him was like the things that I would say. I'm just like, because I'd be like, this guy's kind of weird, and then like at the end he says, did you hear the word? And that's something that happened with the game, because I was clicking no, I was trying to click no, but it didn't come up. So that sucks. That was a little irritating, and yeah. Really not much else to say about it. It was a good game. It's pretty good. I'd recommend you play it and talk with that dude. I liked how in the beginning of the game you see a missing dog sign, and the dog's name is Max, and then you just so happen to find the dude looking for his dog, but it only happened once. It only happens once, or well, at least with me, it only happened once. Because I mostly just got the jokester dude. I kind of wish there were more people to interact with and talk to, but that's what you get. Yeah, the game has like some issues because there's either a lot of lag when you click something, or like it just doesn't register, and then you click one thing and then but you get the other answer. So those kind of things are a little irritating, but it doesn't really defeat the overall experience because you'll most likely find that person again. The only rare like the semi-rare dude is the guy wearing like the hood and stuff, and I ran into him like a bunch of times during the game. So yeah. I think they're on the moon. I don't think this game is set in Earth. And one of the reasons is because like there are no signs in our world that just say like well, I mean there might be that like say town. Just it doesn't tell you the name. It just says town. Like who who would do that? It's not really that intelligent. Like maybe humans just started to get on the moon, and like people are suspicious of the moon humans. 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 Lunars. Is that what they call people on the moon? I remember watching a series about people on the moon. I think it was like an anime, and there was like people on the moon. They're like, oh, the moon's our home or whatever, and they became like lunars or something. I think that was their name. So yeah, interesting. Regardless of what the real story is, the only thing we know is that we're just a hitchhiker, and we're just moving from world to world, town to town. It says the journey continues though, and then there's like this thing about like I don't know. Our character's responses are kind of weird. I guess because he knows what's going on, but nobody else does. And then there's that one dude who with the missing dog, and he starts talking about how like the media is controlled by big business and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know what the game is trying to say entirely. I don't know. Maybe hitchhiking represents our basic need for freedom, and maybe everybody else is just I don't know. There's one dude who's like that jokester dude is interesting because he either tells you some jokes or like if you kind of get to like talking to him, he'll you'll talk about like he's like, hey, I'm being followed. Whereas like I think I'm being followed. I gotta drop you off because uh, they might think that you're part of whatever it is I'm being accused of. So that was kind of interesting. That guy like he either watches your back, tells you to get the fuck out, or just tells you jokes. So yeah, and maybe like the reason why they all look the same is because like as a hitchhiker, our character maybe he's been hitchhiking for so long that he just sees people um, in like different. He's able to categorize people better, probably with body language and just how they talk and act, because like the only people that look different. Well, the only person I ran into that looked different than everybody else was the dog owner. So yeah, and that was interesting because he starts talking about like other stuff entirely. Maybe there was one other person that we were talking to, but yeah. So that's my thoughts on the game. It's relatively interesting. Music's pretty good. There's two tracks, one when you're in the vehicle and one when you're not. I like how you're able to see like way out into the distance. Uh, and I just like the overall like simplicity, but there was still enough there to tell you that something's up and enough clues. So yeah, it's a hard knock life for our hitchhiker dude. And who knows? Maybe this will be a part of a bigger thing, or maybe not. Maybe it's just a one-off thing. Probably a one-off indie game. Either way, it's interesting. It's good. It's good content. So yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think the game was about? I'll leave a link in the description of this video and the video of the actual game. I'd recommend you play it, see what you can get out of these people, Maybe there's a bigger story here and I'm just not seeing it because I didn't get all the pieces. Maybe there was more notes to read. Yeah. So, this has been Fox. Bye.